Hello, welcome to Sabretooth and Nethemba, where we care about your security. Try Hack Me Tuesday. Okay, so the thing about this one's called Watcher. It's a medium room, 75 minutes. I've been asked by my friend Laura to deal with this one. She said that she was able to get the first few flags, but not the rest. There are 7 flags to grab here, and she said it pretty much covers, as it says here, web exploits and commerce privilege exploitation techniques. So it like covers the basics. So I'm surprised she wasn't able to progress too far. I can see some people sort of get stuck around about here as well. I've been asked to treat this one as if it was like an OSCP machine or something, even though I'm not sure if it will be. So we're going to start this now, like literally right this second. I've not been given a time limit, so I don't know. There's no real rush. If you think about OSCP, there's like a few. Back when I did it, there were 5 systems. These days, it's not the case with Active Directory and so on, but there's 5 systems in 24 hours. I worked it out, like if you do 3 hours per system and leave time for breaks, time for food, time for sleep, then everything's good. That's how I did mine. So 3 hours is maximum, I would say. It suggests 75 minutes. Let's see if we can knock this one out in an hour. If it takes longer than 75 minutes, so be it. But we shall see. We have hints all the way down, so let's try not to use these. Not that we ever do anyway. Okay, so 7 flags. All we're doing is waiting for the IP. Normally I'd get this running, but I wanted to explain, the situation, the circumstance, and so on. So we're just going to wait a few more seconds for this. There it is. We're going to do nmap, T5, all ports. Go away. And that as well for aggressive scan. What I'm also going to do is, oh, that's not good. Now I can tell you that there might be a problem because I've had to change. Try Hack Me changed my config file, and I had to download it again, and then it doesn't work straight off. So I had to edit, modify it, and reconnect. I'm like, well, just if it's not broke, just leave things be, guys. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, sort of thing. But that's not the case, is it? With Try Hack Me, they're ridiculous with stuff like this. Excuse me. So it says 0 hosts up. I've done the PN. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get rid of this all ports and things. I just want to do it with the PN flag and make sure that it actually works with that. So again, it's not really, now it is. So it's just taking a while, perhaps. So let's run it again with the PN flag. So we can see immediately, really should probably do this, do a quick scan and get the ports and then do a bigger scan whilst I'm looking into these ports. We have, make a note of this and I'll make a note of the bigger one once it's done. Yeah, I'm going to start doing that from now. I used to do that. I'm not sure why I stopped. I've never done it on these videos, but I used to do it like when doing OSCP and stuff. So 21, 22 and 80, there's nothing unusual there. And as you can see, we've got the bigger scan here, so we'll just overwrite this. It didn't take long in the end. So BSFTPD 305, we could look for a version number there on search exploit. We also have Apache and Jekyll here, cork placements, I don't know. So the first thing we're going to do is connect to port 21 FTP and see if we've got anonymous access. Which we don't. Okay, so that's the first thing I would try. I've got deja vu. No anon on FTP. What was the last one I just did? HTB, easy, cap. What's the first thing I put down? Yeah, okay, no anon on FTP. Right, okay, that's why I've got deja vu. I've just done that recently. Weird, man, weird. Maybe I should give this IP a host name, because that way I don't have to keep remembering the IP and I can just reference it. So we'll do that as well. Sudo nano etc hosts, and although this takes up time, it makes things easier later, so you don't have to actually keep checking the IP. Okay, nice. So what I could technically do now is go http watcher.thm, and it sends me right there instead of having to do the IP each time. 7 flags. Okay, this placement is round crazy. I've not got time to read stuff like that, but let's have a look. Okay, these don't go anywhere. That's good. Back to top goes back to top, and that's nothing as well. So it's a pretty useless site. Robots.txt is the first thing we check. Oh, we actually have some contents on robots.txt, so it's always worthwhile checking this, guys. We have flag1.txt and secret file do not read, which obviously I'm not going to read. So flag1.txt we will put in the browser straight off. Nice. I'm actually going to put all the flags at the bottom. Contains flag. Do you know what? I'm not even going to do it that way. I'm literally going to put it here, and then I'm going to put it like right down here as well. So that's flag 1. That way I'd have to search for it later. I could just put it straight into the THM site as well. We've also got secret file do not read. Okay, I've got 403 here. So secret file gives 403 code, which is forbidden. 404 being not found, 403 is forbidden, 401 authentication needed, 200 okay, 301 redirect, 302 redirect, 500 server error. You know, you get to know these things, guys. Right. Okay, so what's the next thing we do? We normally do a directory brute force, so let's do that. Let's GoBuster, gob, hang on, let's do a reverse search because I've done this before. So GoBuster, the URL, we are going to do watcher.thm. The word list is going to be this small directory list here, and I'm giving it 30 threads, so it should run relatively quickly. If the small list doesn't have anything, I'll move on to like medium lists, and if that doesn't have anything, I will move on to the big list. But whilst the big list is running, and maybe also while the medium list is running, I'll start searching for subdomains. I'll start searching for versions. Like I could do that now. The FTP, VS, whatever it was. I could do that right now. I think that is probably secure. I don't remember seeing anything for that version. No, nothing at all. But if you do 3.0, we've got 303. And then we've got like version 205 and stuff like that. So if it's version 3, generally it's okay. Right, I've used too many threads and this is now going mental. So let's get rid of that and run it again with just 10 threads. So it's going to be a bit slower, but at least it will complete. Make sure that I'm in frame. Get some green tea down me because it's like 9:23 a.m. I am working today, but I thought I'd do this first rather than trying to cram it in the evening. It might be a bit more fresh to do this. There's not much for me to be doing except waiting. I could always just go away and come back if it finds something. I don't really like doing that, but I think I will. I'll be back if it finds anything. If it doesn't, this doesn't work, I'll try the medium list. I won't do anything else other than, you know, wait for this. So there's no point in just hanging around. Back in a minute. That's still running. There's been nothing different, but I've just had a thought of something else I can try. I sometimes also do dir search as well, because dir search does its own word list, and it also easily does extensions and things. It's quite tricky in GoBuster, I find. I could use derb as well, it does the same. So let's run that and see if that comes up with anything, but this normally runs a lot quicker. I've got a feeling though that it might interfere with this. And as you can see, it's like it's using PHP and HTML. I could do like JS and things as well. But I think this is a PDF site, and if I do index.html, it's not found. But if I do index.php, yeah, absolutely, because this was Unix and it's Apache, and if it's an Apache server, generally it's got PHP. It's a LAMP stack, LAMP, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So it might be worthwhile doing that as well, you see. That was finished on the small list. I'm going to do a medium list, but I don't want it to interfere, so I'll wait for this to finish first. Index.php/login doesn't seem good. If you put anything after the .php, it's... yeah, I don't want to explain what's just happened. Well, I will. Index.php is pulling the CSS files, these style sheets, you know, the template and things, to make it look pretty from that directory. It looks like I'm going into another directory, and now it can't find it. And so if you go back another directory, you know, it will. Hang on. If you go back another directory, get rid of that directory thing there, it will. You don't need to know about that. It does lead to PRSSI. You know, we've got a post.php. It does lead to PRSSI, which is something relative style sheet import or something like that. Can't remember the full name of it. Let's just check this out. The search shows this. I'm hoping we can kind of get there. And I hope it's useful as well. Okay. So we've got post.php, view the source. There's nothing in the source. What a strange thing. Unless, I've just thought, right, what if... look, if I click this link, it says post.php, post equals stripes.php, which means that stripes.php should exist as well, which it does, but using post.php, it's loading that into here. Okay, so I didn't even need to use dir search. Clicking an image shows if it's pulling from the web server. What if I move back out of the web server and load something like etc password? You see, that works. So this is nice. We've got a local file inclusion here. We're able to include whatever file we wish. Question is, what file do we want? Good question. Oh, what about, I just saw it as I was doing that, what about the one which we weren't able to access, the secret file do not read.txt? Now that could be useful. Let's have a look. Let's change that to hi Matt the nice. This is the way forward. Hi Matt, the credentials for the FTP server are below. Woohoo! So we have set the files to be saved to home FTP user FTP files, and that's from Will. FTP user give me files 777. Nice. Let's get into the FTP using this. Yep. Oh, I could have just done watch out or whatever. FTP user. The password was that. Nice. We have flag2.txt and files. So get flag2.txt. Grab that. Okay, so far this is quite nice. So my phone's flashing at me. What is happening? Oh, nothing important. Okay. We can also now in a different window cat flag 2.text, which we just grabbed, which is there. And I'm going to put that under there. So we're getting them in order, you see, and just keeping an eye on that. So we've got this files directory here. There's nothing in it. Huh. So what did it say again? It said to home FTP user FTP files. So that files directory that I've just gone in would be here. And before I went into it, I was in this directory. Okay. Entering extended passive mode. Yeah, there was an issue with that, and I can't remember how I got around it. It'll be in my thing somewhere. Can I... Hang on a minute. Put flag 2. I can write to this. Fantastic. So we can write to the FTP. Nice. Well, I'm not sure if we can. I'll put it in the files folder, in the files directory. Okay. So what would be nice is to get a reverse shell in there, I think. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to cd into shells. We are going to nano PHP reverse shell, and we are going to change. We're going to keep the port as. Hang on. No, it doesn't work like that. We don't need a port. We just need an IP address. So, what's just happened? So if I do if config to get my IP is this. So we're just going to replace this with our new IP. That's what we're going to connect back to. And then what we're going to do is copy shells php reverse shell.php to this directory. So if you look, we're now in the watcher directory, and we have a copy of this. In fact, I'm just going to rename it. We're going to move this and just literally call it shell.php to make it easier. So now it's just called shell.php, which means in the FTP we can put shell.php. It's just easier that way. Okay, so that's something. So that's the pentest monkey PHP rev shell. And now we can call it from home FTP user FTP files shell.php, right? And in order to do that, we can use this LFI. Now, before I hit enter, what I'm going to have to do is NC LVP. Yeah, I mean, it must be 1, 2, 3, 4. I do need a port number. I think I left it at that. Let's load that and see if it comes back, gives us a shell. So fail to daemonize is quite common and not fatal. That's fine. It says connection refused, but the question is why. Okay. Let's have a look. Nano shell.php. Oh, it says here port 9999. I just didn't even think about it. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's my bad. I didn't even see it there. We're going to run it again on port 9999. And then we're going to just try loading this again. And this time it's loading and loading and loading and just doesn't stop. And that means that the connection is open. And the reason the connection is open is because we've got a shell here. Lovely, we've got access to the system. Let's have an ls. Well, who am I? www data ls. Okay. I wonder if there's anything else in the web directory which I missed, because now's the chance for me to have a look around from the inside. Now's the chance for me to have a look around from the inside. So we're going to go cd var www cd html. So yeah, look, we've got secret file do not read, we've got striped round robots post more secrets. Well, okay, it was worthwhile checking. Print working directory and then cat. Oh, it's a directory. Okay, so print working directory and then cat flag 3. There we go. Ooh. Okay, well, that is something. So flag 3 out of 7, guys. I'm not even halfway yet. Not even halfway. Not far off, but not halfway. Let's get some Python 3. Nice. Let's get some thing. I know what I mean. So Python 3, get a proper prompt, you know. So R, is it R or is it C? I can never remember. It could be C. Imports pty, and then pty spawn bin bash. And now we've got a proper prompt here. Now, some people say, how do you know about all this, like Python 3 or whatever? Now, if you go to, you can look anywhere really, but if you look for reverse shells, you know, it gives you reverse shells or whatever, but I wonder if there's anything at the side here which goes into, maybe not. So we also have, I don't have anything here about TTY. I don't think so. Oh, yeah, there it is. Upgrade simple shells to fully interactive TTYs. So there's a few different ways of doing it for a bash shell, and then there's the Python way of doing it. That's what I just used. And then you can get a fully one. We could try this, you know. Background with Control Z, update the local terminal, and then bring the remote shell back, and then reset. And sometimes you need to screen as well. So we could try that. I don't normally, but I think we will. We'll Control Z to background it. We're going to run this, and then we're going to reset this like it said, and then we're going to go screen. And so now we've got like tab completion. I can hit tab and it will complete, and we've also got like up and down keys, which like cursor keys, which wouldn't have worked before. So it's sometimes worth doing stuff like that. I don't know why I don't bother. It's not that difficult. It's only an extra line to add. That's going to load forevermore unless it times out, so let's get a move on. We're going to cd into home and have a look around. Oh my god, there's the FTP user, there's Matt, Toby and Will. Okay, after FTP user and Ubuntu, there's really not that many. There's only 3 users. So I'm going to ls FTP user, there's the FTP. Matt's got cow flag 5, note and scripts. Toby's got flag 4, jobs and note. Will's got flag 6. So it looks like, and I'm guessing the root flag is 7, so that's the rest of the flags. We've located them. So I'm guessing that next I need to get into Toby's account in order to get flag 4, and then get into Matt's account, and then get into Will's account. So Toby is who we are aiming for. Let's do a sudo l. Okay, so we can run everything as Toby, which is really cool. So let's make a copy of this. We've located the flags. It's just a case of getting them. So we can run everything as Toby. So we can do something like, who am I? www data, but we can do sudo as the user Toby, because everything's allowed as Toby, but nobody else, and just run a new bash shell. And then who am I? Toby. Bang. That is really simple, right? Now we've got access as Toby, we can read that fourth flag. I didn't even check that we could read it or not anyway. So we're going to ls Toby just to make sure there's nothing else in there. Oh, I've got jobs and no. Okay, well, let's go into there. Okay, we're going to cat flag 4. And we're going to grab that and put that in our list at the bottom. Now we're over halfway. Just 4 out of 7, guys. How long have we been running? Is the next question. Not even half an hour yet. So to say this is 75 minutes, I don't think we're doing that badly. Halfway, half an hour. Yeah, okay. So what else do we have here? Note, cat note.text. Hi Toby, I've got the cron job set up. Just tell me what to do next, why don't you? So don't worry about getting that done, Matt. Well, I suppose, I mean, it's a medium box. It shouldn't be giving this many hints, really. And then we have jobs. So cd into jobs, assume it's a directory. And we've got cow.sh. So that's cat's the cow, which is quite funny. Bin bash, home mat cow to temp. Okay. Okay. So let's explain what's happening here. If we go to cd temp, it's copying home mat cow file to temp cow, and if we ls, there is no cow file. Interesting. ls, broke it. ls home mats. Yeah, there is cow.jpg there. Huh. So why is there no... Why is there no cow file being copied there? That's a little bit confusing. That's very confusing. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do next. Because we know there is a cron job of some kind which is meant to be running, whether it does or not, I don't know. There could be a problem here. For some reason I can't use backspace. Oh my god, I can't use backspace at all. Right, okay. Something's a little bit balked with this. One more time. Because there's a cron job running somewhere, I think I'm going to have to run some PS by and see if I can see it. I don't know why it's not working. Unless the temp directory is only for a certain user. And then, that doesn't seem right. We don't have our own temp instances, do we? I'm not sure. Right, whatever. We're losing time, losing focus. So we're going to go back into privesc scripts. And we need to know what sort of Linux we're running here. So uname A, it's x64, so 64-bit Linux. So we're going to do sudo Python 3 with the module HTTP server on port 80. So that runs a server serving all of these files. And we're going to grab PSPy 64, the 64-bit version. What's my IP? We're in temp, but that's okay. Let's wget myip / pspi64. Okay. Did I make a note of that? I did make a note of that. And then we're going to run timeout. Oh crap. I can't use backspace. I need to be very careful with how I'm typing. Timeout. I don't know how to do 2 minutes. I used to know. I used to use this a lot, but not anymore. Timeout. How to do 2 minutes. It doesn't say at all. I wonder if we can just do timeout 2 minutes. On what are we running? PSPi 64. Change. Right, so try again. Timeouts 2 minutes. PSPi 64. Just need to make sure it's executable. There we go. So for 2 minutes, it's going to run PSPi and then die. There's meant to be a cron job running. So I think while that's running, I'm literally just going to check my messages because there's nothing else for me to do right now. There's nothing really particular. Oh, okay. So it is running. We can see this bin bash home Toby jobs cow.sh, and then it copies to temp. Okay, so that does actually run. It ran on the minute, so 9:4. As soon as it changed to 9:47, it ran a second later. So I've got this running for 2 minutes. If this runs again within that 2 minutes, which it may do, if it runs every minute or something. We're only waiting a minute, so there's no point in me going away and coming back. It's literally just hang about. Put it onto double speed if you want. That's the thing about YouTube, isn't it? You can manipulate speed of videos and so on. So if it gets to 9:48 and a second, which it just has, it's run it again. Why didn't it run this time? Whatever. Anyway, it's still running the code. So I started running this at 9:46 and 43 seconds. So we've got less than a minute. There's probably got about 30 seconds to wait before it dies. I could kill it with Control-C. I'm not sure whether it'll kill my shell or not. It's terminated. That's good. So we can see that this does actually run with PSPi. It shows us which cron jobs are running. Cron job runs every minute. Nice. The question is now, if we go back into CD home Toby, I think that's who we were. CD jobs. If we do LSL, you can see that this file is owned by Toby, which means we can edit it. So cow.sh, I'm not sure if we can use nano in this shell or not. No. Okay. So what I want to do is get a reverse shell going and put it into cow.sh so that when it runs, it will run the reverse shell, and we'll be able to get, you know, obviously a connection, hopefully as another user. Because although this is owned by Toby, it runs as 1002, right? And if we do cat etc password, you'll see that 1002 is Matt. Okay. As Matt 1002. So we should get a shell as another user, Matt, instead of Toby. This is the idea. This is the idea. Right, how are we going to go about doing this? let's get some shells going. Reverse shell. Should we do a bash shell, or I suppose so. I suppose so. Let's see. I first just want to echo this out and just make sure that... Uh-oh. I think I killed it. Yeah, I figured that might be a problem. Oh, that's fine. So if I echo it in quotes, it comes out exactly as I want it. That's what we need. Right, so let's build this. Let's build this now. What we need to do is echo in quotes this into cow.sh. But the IP address of the shell needs to be my my local IP, which is, come on, have I not got this anywhere yet? There it is. My local IP, which is this one. And this is, I'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4 this time. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually clear that. In fact, I'll do it in this one. Then I can find it easily. Start a listener on 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here, we're actually just going to run what I've just done. That's now in cow sh. Oh, I might need the I might need the shebang at the start. You know, the bin bash thing. I've not done that. I really should have done that. I could have also just put it at the end as a append it rather than replace it. I think I've just made a mistake. We'll see if it runs anyway. We'll wait until my top corner clock changes to 9:53, and then we might get a shot back if it interprets it correctly. If not, I need to do it again with a shebang. See, if I cat cow.sh, you see it's just got that in there. But it should have like the shebang, which is this bin bash here. It's 9:53. Let's figure out what's just happened. Yeah, we've not got a shell back. So we're going to go again. We're actually going to echo yeah, so bat / bin bash into cow.sh. Event not found. Yeah, I'm not trying to... Oh god, what's happening? See, if I do echo this, I think it's going to mess up. Event not found. I mean, what if I... Right, let's think about this. Something needs escaping. So echo, put it in brackets, in quotes. Let's quote that. Escape that, so it's not interpreted, into cow.sh, I think. Let's try this. How do you echo this into a file, guys? How do you echo this into a file? Because I don't think I've ever done it in my life. Maybe it's the exclamation mark. Actually, let's try this. Let's just do echo bin bash. Forget about the cow.sh. I just want to see if we can get this out. See, now it's put it with that in there. Any idea, guys? Because, well, I don't know why I'm asking you, because you can't reply to me, can you? So I think what I'm going to do now is do this differently. I'm going to kill that. I'm going to nano cow.sh on my own system. We are doing this followed by this reverse shell, which is this. Now I don't know if I need to echo that or whether it works as is. I mean, to be fair, let's just keep this simple and actually use a different one. Which one normally works? This one. Let's just keep this simple and use this one instead. So we'll do that. Because like I said, I know this one works. We're going to get our IP one more time, which is somewhere. I'm getting too many windows open. There it is. We're going to get our IP one more time, which is here. Oh God, where are we? And 1, 2, 3, 4 is correct. So let's do that. We're going to remove cow.sh, and then we're going to wget our. Hate that backspace doesn't work. This is why I don't use this type of shell, I think, quite honestly. I remember having issues with it before and it just drives me mad. Right, calm down. Keep it calm and everything will be fine. We're going to wget our IP address one more time, which is here. Keep it calm. Keep it calm. cow.sh, and then make it executable. Okay, we're now going to cat cow.sh. That's what I want it to look like. That's what we're waiting on for that to get to 58. And if this doesn't work, I'm just going to take a break, have a think about it, and then come back. That's all we need, right? That's all we need. So I'm not going to say how we did it, but I'm literally just going to put here, replace, actually, oh well, cow.sh with wget, right? And hopefully, when that changes to 58, we're going to get a shell back as mat, which we haven't for some reason. I'm going to have to go. This is probably where Laura got stuck. I'm going to have to go and have a think about this, and then I'll be back. So I'll see you in a second. I've had to think about it. And I think what I need to do, I'm not sure about this, but I think what I need to do is if we nano cow.sh, I think we need to echo this out. I think we need to echo this out. And then run it as bash. Because what it's doing, it's like taking that whole command, it's echoing it out into a bash shell. I mean, that might work. It might not work, but it might work. So we're going to remove cow.sh. We're going to do the same as before. Where are you? Here you are. So it echoes it out and then tries to run it via bash. That could work. If not, I'm going in again, having another thing, and coming back again. Again, there's nothing coming back. So this is really odd. That has literally just changed. In fact, I'm not going to go away. I'm just going to do it live. I'm going to do it live. Do it live. Let's try this one again, because this is the most basic bash shell. And let's actually try what we've just done. So we're going to do this and echo that out, and then run it with bash. all I need to do is change this. And change that to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the one below it, this one, I'm going to leave it there, but just comment it out. So it's not going to... How do I even... Joe, we're just going to delete it. Intriguing, to say the least. So remove cow, and then one more time, we're actually going to try this. And then change mode. Yeah, if not this time, then I guess I'll be back again. I'm going to have to go and have a good think about this. There's no reason why this shouldn't work right, because it does run the... I think if this doesn't work, I'm going to revert the system, get back to where I was. And that's 10:02. Still nothing. I'm going to revert the system, get back to where I was, and then append to the end of the original one, rather than create a new one. So I'm going to revert, and then I'll be back. So I'm going to stop recording. Okay, that took a while. I reverted the system, had to change the IP in my etc host file. I had to do the local file inclusion to get a shell. I then had to do sudo to get Toby access, and I made sure the flags are still the same. This is where we was at. If we ls, we go into jobs, and if we cat cow.txt, cow.sh, I've not done that weird shell which doesn't allow my backspaces. It now still has this. Now the bin bash is still there, this is still there, and we know it works. Let's append to this rather than do anything else. So okay, let's put append to cow.sh so we can see what we're doing. We need this. We need our excuse me. We need our IP. We can kill you now. I don't need that. We've still got that running. Let's run it one more time just to keep it fresh. I don't think that's a thing. You know, I'm just being dumb. Let's get our IP here. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, what I want to do is move this into cow.sh appending. So echo in quotes, because if it's in quotes, it does it as is. Append with a double. It's going to add to the end of it, not replace it. So we're going to try this and see if that works. And if this doesn't work, I don't know what to do next. So we have that. We have that. So we're going to run that echo bash cow.sh. Done. I could check cow.sh to make sure it's okay, which I will. So now it's going to run what it was running, but now it's also going to run this, and we can hope that this time when 10:11 hits up here any second now, actually it's been 10:10 for a while. Other than that, I don't know what else to try just yet. This might be the first case of me having to go away and coming back at another time, like a day later or something, or a few days later. 10:10, 10:11, come on. Time. How dare you, time. So I guess it wasn't 10:10 for a while. I thought it was 10:11. Ah, it does work. It does work. Dear God, right. Append, guys, don't replace. Append, do not replace. Nice. Oh, I didn't even check. Although it does say it there. Right, so that was a little bit of a detour. Not quite sure why it didn't work like that, but that's okay. We are now matte, which is beautiful, because if we do, hang on, print working directory, oh, we're in home mat ls, we can now cat flag 5. Brilliant. Brilliant, guys. I am rather happy now. because we have flag 5 out of 7. We have 2 more to get. One of them is the root flag, and one of them is in Will's account, Will's folder. Okay, well, there's a note. So we're going to cat note.text. Hi Matt, I've set up your sudo rights to use the Python script as my user. You can only run the script with sudo, so it should be safe. Well, so I guess we know what to do next. This is pretty much talking you through everything. To say this is a medium box, there's a lot of hand holding. Having said that, it might be medium because of the amount of steps it needs. And I'm still having trouble here and there. So I was about to try sudo anyway. It's the first thing. We've not yet had to use limpys, which is quite nice, but I shall if I need to. So as will, we can run as Python home mat script will script py and whatever comes after that. Okay, can we cat this? Is the question. Okay. So whatever we give as the first argument is stored in CMD, and it only allows ls, lah, id, and cat etc password. If it's not in the whitelist, it's going to print invalid command and then exit, and then finally it runs our command. So we're restricted to ls, lah, we're restricted to id, and we're restricted to cat etc password. Here's the thing. Okay, so we can only read it. We can only read it. We can't edit this at all. So import os, import sys from cmd, import get command. From cmd, import get command. What? Hang on. ls will. Ls will. So there's only flag 6. So it's home mat scripts. Okay, so cd scripts ls. So there's cmd.py, which is what it's importing. Let's do an lsl here. So we can overwrite or append to, because I'm an idiot, cmd.py, which is then run by this script. Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's good. So let's take a look at this. We can look at that. The cmd.py, which this file references, is owned by Matt. So we can't overwrite the main script, but we can overwrite the script which the script runs, if that makes sense. I think I might actually... I was going to say I think I might actually overwrite it, but that's dumb. We know straight off that that's not a good idea. We know firsthand that's not a good idea. So let's cat cmd.py. See what's in here. Okay, if command is if number is 1, return this. If number is 2, return this. And if number is 3, return this. So I should be able to just append a shell to the end of this. Come on, think about this. Python shell here. So I don't need the Python C bit because it's run inside a Python script already, so we don't need to call Python. So let's get rid of this. let us actually echo this. Oh no, because it's got these quotes here, look. And here. Well, let's do it anyway. And whenever these quotes come about, can we escape them? We also need to change the IP and everything. Do you know what might be easier? If I change these quotes to single ones, like that, and the same here. If I echo this, will it come back as is? Because if so, then I know that it's going to copy into the file as is. So I've echoed that, and it looks good, I'll be honest, it does look good. Yeah. Okay. Fine. So what I need to do then is change the IP to, hang on, we've done this up here. Change the IP to this. And we're not going to use 1234 because we're already using that one. So I think what we're going to do instead, let me just quickly check that the video is looking all right, which it seems to be. That's good. What we're going to do is let's do 2345 this time. Something a bit different. So we're going to echo all of this and append it to cmd.py. So it's going to go to the end of cmd.py, I think. Right, let's try that. So cd, what am I doing? Oh, that's Toby. I don't want you. There we go. Yeah. So now if I cat cmd.py, it's going to look like this. Yeah, that kind of looks good. We're importing a bit further down than we probably should be. I'm not sure whether that's an issue or not, but we will certainly try it. We'll certainly try it. Okay, this is a little bit trickier than I thought it would be, to be honest. Clear that. So NCLVP2345 this time. Let's move this one to the end so we know where it is. And then if we do sudo L, we can run this as will. So we're going to do sudo as will this, and if we run something like exit or whatever, it will return. If we run something like number 1, it will return. Number 2, it will return. So we don't want it to return, we want it to actually continue. So let's just give it a 4, which isn't in there. That didn't work either. A terminal is required to read the password. Use the S option to read from standard input. So that did not work. You know what I could try? You know what I could try? If I go back to the one which I just did recently, cap. What I did down here for PHP was, because we had Python 3 and we was able to set capabilities and things. So if I, yeah, okay. Right, let's go back to what we were doing. If instead of doing this, we do something like import pty, followed by pty spawn a new shell, bin bash. This is what we do to get a tty shell, right? Yeah. Let's turn that into these. So if we echo this, it should spawn us, go away, it should spawn us a new shell without us having to get a reverse shell, if that makes sense. Put that into cmd.py. See what this does. Okay, and then we can run this again. It seems to be hanging up on what I've already done. So once again, I've balked it. So this time I'm actually going to just overwrite it entirely and see what happens. And then run this one more time. I don't understand what it means about required to read the password. Oh, it's a sudo issue. It says there's no password. Am I doing something wrong here? Sudo you will. Okay, so we're going to do Python 3 command import pty spawn bin bash. Forgot I've not got a proper terminal here. Oh, I've done it again, haven't I? Bin bash. Right. I think I've got a decent enough shell now. So we'll try this again. Password for Matt. Why is it asking for a password? Did it not say no password? As will, no password. So if I'm doing sudo as will, why is this not working, guys? Why is this not working? There we go. That works. I wonder if that other one worked as well. No, it didn't. Okay, that worked in the end. I just needed to make sure that this this was satisfied. Good, so that worked to the end. So I don't even think I'm going to talk about everything else. I'm literally just going to say that we did that because that's what worked. We started a new bash shell in command.py, just overwrote it entirely, and then we ran this and actually got a shell. You know, sometimes, guys, it just takes a little bit of fapping about just to get things. It's quite annoying. But all these mistakes are mine. It's nothing to do with the system. It is literally me being an idiot. And I am an idiot. And I'm happy to admit that. Right, let's do sudo l as will. Right, no, I need a password for will. So let's go into Will's home account and see if there's a note in there as well. There should be a flag in there. So we're going to cd into Will. ls. Hang on. There we go. We're going to cat flag 6. Oh. Oy vey. Got there. Right. We've got the 6th flag. All there is now is root. I can see why this is medium. There's so much that could go wrong, even though it is technically simple. Okay. If I lose access here and things go wrong and I have to revert and get into that and into that and into that, it's going to be a little bit crazy chaining them together again. So we've not got sudo. I've got ADM access. I think now is probably the time for some limpies to figure out how to root this thing. If we've not got sudo access, could be a cron job. Let's get some limpies, finally. Let's get some limpies going. Where's my privesc scripts? Here it is. So let's do this again. And we are going to wget. I should know my IP by now, but I don't, because I just copy and paste it rather than memorize it. It's not that difficult to memorize. Wget this. Hang on a minute. It's in privesc scripts. Idiot. That was right. That was right. Double idiot. Limpies dot change mode. Limpies dot then run. So you can see, guys, that it's quite an interesting state of affairs, really. It's just a case of being able to root this thing now. We just need to wait for limpies, which is a bit of a boring thing. So I don't really know what this is going to come up with. Oh my god. Right, let's scroll back up. I don't know what this is going to come up with. If there's anything yellow and red, obviously I'll take a look at it. If there's anything red, I'm keeping an eye on it, and anything else I'm just glancing through. But I'm hoping this isn't going to be a complicated route, because it's been fairly complicated. Not complicated, but it's been involved. That's what I mean to say. It's been involved so far. There's been a lot to do to get into this account and this account and this account. I do have 6 flags, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Absolutely I do. Let's take a look. See what we've got. I mean, we know about cron jobs and things. Although there could be another one running. Active ports. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. I mean, I am part of the ADM group. That does bear thinking about. And that's the FTP login. Oh, that's interesting. You can log in as root via SSH. Sorry, log in as root via SSH. That's quite crazy. Generally, that's not allowed. That's FTP. There doesn't seem to be any noticeable suids. There doesn't seem to be any noticeable capabilities. Oh, there's a bash history, which I might need to check out. Remember that. Okay. Huh. OPT backups. There's not normally anything in OPT. So let's think about that. OPT backups. Web files, okay. I need a shave, man. I'm going to do that in a minute. Well, when I've rooted this. Not like literally going to go shave and come back. Let's just check out OTP, because that's very odd that something's in there. Key.b64. Cat's key. That is base 64 indeed. So cat key.b64 into base 64 decode. Ooh, it is a key. Wow, it's a private key. That's a bit dumb. question is, whose private key is this? Hang on, we can log in as root. Is it really? Is it really? Is it really? Change the mode of that key to 600 so it works with SSH. We're going to do SSH ID RSA to the key root at watcher.thm. Oh my god, that's it. No password or anything. Who watches the watchers? Well, that was a bit easier than I thought, which I'm kind of glad. We did it, guys. Laura, there you go. Maybe you got stuck where I got stuck with the whole overwriting versus appending thing. You know, sometimes things can be a bit iffy, be a bit balked. But we got there. I'm actually really tired now. But we got there. Let's get these flags into the... Oh, it's just a copy-paste game at this point. Should have done it as I was going, really. Shouldn't I? But no matter. Let's check the... Is this a... robots.txt. Okay, so it is giving me hints. So I knew about that one. I mean, I knew about all of them, but you get what I mean. Let's check the hints as we go, see what it actually said about it. Local file inclusion. Yeah, we know about that one. I was able to get that secret file, which we couldn't read, but could read, but you know what I mean. Let's see what's third. Local file inclusion to remote code execution. Yeah, we was able to include a shell. We did that one, absolutely. It's good that it's giving all these references. Like 4, it says sudo. Okay, yeah, so do we have a sudo rights, which we do. That's good. A lot of chaining together in this one. That's what makes it medium, I think. Flag 5, this was the script replacement, I think, wasn't it? Schedule cron jobs, yeah, absolutely. And this was the Python library hijacking the cmd.py, which it called on. And then finally, we just had the root flag here. Yeah, so how to use a SSH key. That was a great room, actually. I mean, it was on the easier side, and I did get a bit stuck for a while, but that was a great room. I enjoyed that one a lot. That was very well thought out. And it's very good for beginners, actually, to get the basics, but it is a little bit on the hard side for beginners. I think this is a really nice example of how TryHackMe can be used to learn things, especially if you're using the hints and going to the references. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your support. Please leave a like, please subscribe, please comment, and all that jazz. Share the video around, share the playlist around if you can, and visit Nethemba.com for all your pen testing needs. Thank you so much, and goodbye.